Tomorrow is the start, presumably, assuming there's no, delays. I doubt there will be, though. Tomorrow will be the start of my Project Zomboid server. And in my opinion, Project Zomboid is probably the best zombie survival game that's ever been made. Like, DayZ is, like, number 2 behind it. And, like, Zomboid is far above DayZ. That just gives you a bit of an idea of how unfulfilled this genre is, right? Because I love Zomboid. Zomboid is amazing, but it's an isometric game, right? And there's only so much you can really do with that, you know? And DayZ Standalone, I bought into the early access of that game back in 2013 or 2014, dude. Like, in that game, let's just say it's far from what I expected it to be 8 years later in its current state. I feel like I was scammed. I feel like 15-year-old me was scammed. I do. However, a trailer for a game was dropped. This is actually the second trailer they dropped. The release date trailer. This came out a year ago. For a game that is supposed to be, I guess you could call it the DayZ Killer. A game that is supposed to basically meet all of the hope and expectations and, like, unmet potential that DayZ did. This is called The Day Before. Let's take a look. If you know, do not say anything, chat. If you're in chat and you know, don't say anything. Don't spoil it. This is a zombie game. This is supposed to be a massively multiplayer online, like, survival zombie game. You're, like, going out into the world, you're surviving other players, there's, like, cities, and yeah. I'm gonna let the trailer play. Yeah, it looks like upstate New York. So, that is the trailer for the day before. I'm going to start this all by saying, I'm going to future-proof everything I'm going to say here, just in case all of what I'm about to say ends up being wrong. Because there's a chance, and I hope that I am wrong, by the way. I hope that I am wrong. There's a chance that I'm wrong. So I'm going to preface it with this. I hope I am wrong about this. I hope this game comes out, and it is amazing, and it is great, and it fulfills every expectation and more. I desperately, desperately want it to, okay? However, there was some concerns when the trailer first came out. You see, it started when people noticed the branding was, well, let's look at the branding. Also, this game is slated for release on March 1st, and they doubled down on that, recently. So if we look at the branding, you might notice something. This was what first made people double take. This was what initially made people, when this game dropped, do a bit of a double take. After that, some more sussy-wussy stuff started to bubble to the surface, okay? First, people kind of looked over the trailer. Game developers looked over the trailer, and particularly in scenes that are supposed to be gameplay, they noticed that not only does the game look really, really good, like really graphically good, perhaps too graphically good, the gameplay doesn't look like gameplay. Like, this just doesn't look like real player movement. A lot of game developers who've seen this feel like this is probably rendered footage and not clean, straight up, no bullshit gameplay running natively, just being captured, right? So people started to be like, okay, this just doesn't seem like it's very concrete as far as gameplay goes. This looks really good, and this looks like gameplay, right? But this is also fairly easy to fake. Then again, this could all be real, and it could be all scripted and on rails for the sake of showing off how the game looks and what can be done in the game in the most smooth cinematic-looking way for the trailer as possible. That's not unheard of at all, okay? Here's the thing, though. It goes deeper, all right? It goes deeper than that. People started to dig. People started to look around. Let's just say the story behind this game and its company is looking a little worrying. This is a video by Force Gaming. I really like his videos, and I highly recommend you go subscribe to him. He's like one of the very few like gaming news like YouTubers that does like updates on what's going on in the gaming industry and stuff that isn't like a chud that I like to watch. He's not like a chud. I like watching him. He does like stuff about new games coming out and stuff in the gaming industry that isn't like, oh my god, did you see this Kotaku article? It's good channel. Anyway, let's take a look at this video. I put it on 1.5 speed. This goes over some of the more recent developments that have happened, along with some of the past concerns. However, after this video, something new dropped literally while I was live that may be what confirms or proves or disproves whether or not this game is real. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to be reacting to it for the first time after I show you this bit of the video, okay? Let's check this out.
Hey everyone, today we've got an update for the day before. This is the upcoming open world zombie survival MMO that as of now is still one of the most wish-listed titles on all of Steam. I've covered this game a handful of times, mostly focusing on what I consider to be a major red flag.
I'm going to call it right now. Who here is an OG Zan fan and feels like this location is familiar? Does this location feel familiar to any of you? Have you seen this place somewhere? This gas station? Have you seen it somewhere? I have. It's not a Zomboid location. You've seen it in a game that I've streamed. This is the gas station from The Last of Us 2. Or not The Last of Us 2, sorry. Life is Strange 2. I mix those names up every time. This is the gas station from Life is Strange 2. Decked out in Christmas stuff instead of Halloween stuff. It's like exactly it. So yeah, let's watch the video. That
considered to
the
be major red flags from both the studio developing it and their poor history of releasing
he goes over
games,
it.
but also just looking strictly at the gameplay footage
Yeah,
that
Shadow of
they've released
Mordor
for the day
goes hard.
before through these numerous trailers over the past year, and the fact that it all seems
Shadow of
fake
War is
isn't the
great
right
too.
word. Staged, I would call it. All of the footage that they've released seems very staged and not like actual real gameplay. Now, I do
Hey,
believe
Pillow.
that the game is real in as much as it's being made. There are people creating this thing, and it will release and be playable at some point in the future. But at the same time, I get the sense that what they've shown is a very inaccurate representation of what we will be getting come release. And ultimately, I suspect the game will end up a total disaster. So we have got a few new updates this week, as well as things that have
This
come to
is
the
the
surface in
segment
the
now.
time since my last video on this game. So let's jump into it. The first big thing was a new gameplay preview. This came from the NVIDIA CES showcase. It was roughly 1 minute long and consisted of
This came out a couple days ago. This NVIDIA CES showcase thing was what the community's still following this game, really hoping it's not a scam and that it's real. We're hoping we're going to see like some commentated, like very clearly, like all UI on, very clearly live, like recorded gameplay, like a live recorded demo gameplay presentation of some kind. Just something to really show, okay, something it's harder to fake, right? And they provided us with what you're seeing in the background here. More landscape shots, more footage that could easily be faked with, pre-rendering.
a mix of static environmental shots.
I can't run Darktide on my PC, unfortunately. Every time I launch it, it crashes. My my hard drive, my C drive, which is an SSD, is not big enough for me to put more stuff on it. So I had to put the game on my hard drive. My hard drive can't write to my RAM fast enough, so the game crashes on startup, like about 5 minutes into the opening cutscene every time. I've tried. I can't get it fixed. I've really tried. The only solution at this rate is for me to just kind of wait till I built a new computer and to really not go stingy on storage and make sure I just get SSDs and make sure they got a lot of room. So yeah, I won't be able to play Darktide for a while because I'm not just gonna hastily move to Seattle and then pay a bunch of money to build a new computer. That's so stupid. No, it'll be a little while before I can play Darktide.
Which I'll say looked like some pretty cool environments. And then there were a few short gameplay clips, with it all wrapping up with what appeared to be cinematics. As I was watching this, I thought, sort of like with the previous day before gameplay videos, that it all looked and felt a little off. Initially, I couldn't pinpoint exactly why or what it was, but after watching back the video a few more times, I realized two major things that stood out. Throughout the entire gameplay sections, all of the camera movement and aiming in their footage seemed like it wasn't being controlled by an actual player, and instead was simply scripted movement that they were recording. If you pay close attention to how the camera moves and how the player is aiming, it feels very unnatural, in some ways way too smooth, but then also at the same time too kind of slow and clunky for what a real player would actually do. I've played a lot of games myself. I've watched a lot of gameplay footage of other people playing games. It almost doesn't seem like a human is controlling this. I've seen a lot of theories as to what that could potentially be. This was a similar complaint that's been brought up in a lot of the older footage that we've seen of the day before. Those similarly looked and felt a little unnatural, and I've seen a lot of comments from people saying, hey, is there a real player actually playing this? What does that mean? Why would you do this? From my understanding, the biggest benefit of doing something like just recording and showing scripted gameplay is that you can hide performance issues, and you can bump up the graphical fidelity without affecting the performance.
Another possibility is this game does exist, and that is what the game looks like, but it also is like horribly optimized, and every person who tries to run it on anything less than a 4090 will get 10 FPS, and they're pre-rendering all the gameplay, so you can't, because you can pre-render gameplay and it'll be 60 FPS just fine. So Rust is actually playable on most PCs. You just can't stream it on most PCs because streaming takes up a whole bunch of resources.
I'm not saying that this is all make-believe and they just threw this together, but I am saying within the game engine, within the game that they're developing, that they are not comfortable to show actual, honest-to-goodness live gameplay because there are probably major issues that they would run into if they were showing actual gameplay. And then there were the animations, and particularly I would like to point out the muzzle flash. This looks bad. I thought it immediately, but I wasn't sure, like, what about it looks bad? Going back and recording and then slowing down the footage.
I don't care about the
frame,
muzzle flash thing, because this could just be like, oh, we're seeing a build of the game where the muzzle flash wasn't as detailed, which is, I don't care about the muzzle flash thing. It seems like a weird thing to focus on.
Muzzle flash animation is bad because the animation part of it is non-existent. Who cares? Oh, sure, yes, I get that. But I'll just say the whole reason I am even bringing these things up is because they are once again being added onto the pile of concerns, which ultimately is a shame because I would love a new great open world zombie survival MMO. The reality is, though, as time goes on and the more and more things that pop up about this game, it looks like probability is the day before will not be that. And that is a real bummer because I want good games. I really enjoy and think there's a lot of potential for more future games in this open world zombie survival MMO genre. Just doesn't look like the day before is going to deliver whatsoever, and a lot of us are just kind of built up on the hype, on the promise of that first trailer, as well as the premise and the genre. So that was the first.
You're close, but it's not the Life is Strange 2 gas station? No, it is. Hold on. Wait, It's so on the nose. There's a very small change that's been made to the building itself, but even the color palette is the same. It's called Bear Station. So let's start with the gas station from Life is Strange 2, all right? We'll start with the sign, okay? Blue sign with a hot dog on it. What's the sign above the gas station in the Day Before's gameplay trailer have? Oh shit. A blue sign with a hot dog on it. Okay. This roof is a flat roof with wood paneling. Flat roof, wood paneling, and sort of like a green trim there. Green trim, wood paneling, and a flat roof. You have like the little pipe coming up for like the ventilation there. And you've got the pipe coming up for ventilation on that side as well. You've obviously got like, I think you can even see the same, there's the lights there. The lights are up on the windows. And then they didn't decorate the windows in this one. There isn't a window here on this one. And here's where the differences are. This one has a garage there. This one has like an inlaid bathroom. And also the pumps are the same. The layout. Oh, and the inside is like a spitting image. The guy gets into it more in this video, but like I had to point it out because it was on screen. But yeah, it's like...
new thing. But then shortly after, we got something else. A couple hours after the NVIDIA gameplay reveal, the developer released a new video titled The Life at Fantastic. Now, they teased this on various social media platforms by claiming this was going to be a big new reveal, sharing some exciting details on the development of...
I'm really hoping that, like, the company that made Life is Strange and the company that making this game, like, got the same package of, like, building presets or building prefabs or some shit. And, like, those two gas stations just look really similar because of that because of that, or maybe it's a reference. That's possible. But it could also be them stealing locations and pre-rendered footage to sell a fake game. Now, here's the thing, though. They have not asked for any money. There's been no Kickstarter, nothing like that. There's no pre-ordering for the game, and you're just going to be able to buy it when it releases. So, you may be wondering, how is this a scam? What is the scam? What are they scamming? What are they, like, swindling people out of? He gets into it.
The day before. In reality, this was basically just a vlog, and it was not good, but also turned out to just be an advertisement for something else, which is something they've done before, riding on the hype of the day before. Let me break this down for you. So this was a 5-minute vlog, and I'll say it seems clear to me throughout most of this, they're just trying to have some lighthearted fun. They have a bunch of different skits that they set up, a whole bunch of scripted moments, a lot of it non-game related. Like there was one scene about one of their developers being evicted from their apartment. There were other scenes of various people dancing and singing. You know what? I'm all for a good time. Enjoy yourself. Just a lot of this came across as a wee bit awkward, let me just say. And I know all about awkward. I consider myself one of the kings of awkward social interactions, so I don't blame you for having some awkward moments in your videos. I've got plenty of them. I think what's more so is that they showed basically jack squat for the game, aside from a few brief clips of some of their developers working at their computer, and there was about 12 or so seconds where they flashed between a character creator, weapon modding, and talking with an NPC. The entire rest of the video, though, more or less amounted to, we're making the game, everyone, promise, and we're having a fun time doing it. And yeah, good on ya, enjoy your work, but billing this as a big reveal about the day before's development, it was not that. Also, however, as I was watching this the very first time, I was half convinced that the entire video was actually just an undisclosed advertisement. The reason being, they mentioned this Continent app by name numerous times throughout the video, going as far as to show the logo on screen while having skits and then verbally just talking about...
To be clear, this video by the studio in context is supposed to be a video about their studio and what life at their studio is like and their progress on the day before. Just be clear, that's what the video is supposed to be.
Hey, this app is really great. It's been good for keeping the team organized as we work remote from across the globe. The section that was focused on the app and them using it lasted for like the first 3 minutes out of the 5-minute video, and it kind of seemed like a product placement. Watching the video back a second time, it became very clear to me this entire thing was a focus on the app. So I posted about this on Twitter, being like, hey, this is kind of weird. And then someone in the comments pointed out to me that the Continent app is made by Fantastic. It is their app. This video that was supposed to be about the day before's development, how it's going, what they do to work on the game, it was actually just an advertisement for another one of their products. And if you needed any more convincing, shortly after the video was published onto their YouTube channel, they updated the description with a link to download the Continent app, and then they also have a pinned comment. Neither of these two things were there when
they updated it again, by the way, and they changed that description a little bit. So now it says, "We are declaring war on offices. The fight for freedom has begun. Download Continent." That is what they updated the description to say, even like again later. So Continent, like, is this app they've developed that's supposed to be like a workplace app, like you work remotely together, like you do calls and like remote desktop stuff, I guess is what it's for. So it really seems like they've used the day before's hype to advertise this app they've made with this video, and the game is 3 months out from release. It's supposed to release March 1st. They've doubled down on this release date. So
pinned comment, neither of these two things were there when the video first went live because they wanted to pull people in thinking they were going to see the day before. Instead, they were just advertising another one of their products. Now, can Fantastic, a software developer, advertise other products that they're working
oh yeah, that's a bit of the
on? Yes, of course they can. But once again, just like they did with the reveal of Prop Night, one of their most recently released.
So here's the one of the few things that this game has going for it that's positive. The studio that made this game made Prop Night. Most of you here probably don't know what that game is, but some of you might know of it, might have even played it or enjoy it. Prop Night kind of dominated Twitch for a little while. I know some people that really enjoy it and liked it a lot. Prop Night's apparently a pretty good game, but it's kind of fallen off. I heard it's pretty fun. It's like Dead by Daylight and Prop Hunt mixed together, and it looks really pretty graphically, and it seems to function pretty well. And that was their most recent game. Prop Night was dead in a month. Yeah, but from my understanding, not reasons to do with the game being bad or anything, just kind of like it was the trend and then it stopped being the trend, right? So Prop Night's like a real game that people enjoyed. It had a fan base and everything. It has a fan base. That was their most recent game. So they've made actual real games that are apparently good. So that there's a point in favor of the day before being real.
These games, they appear to just be riding the wave
Prop
of
Night,
hype
by the way.
around the day before to push their other products, which as a company, of course, they have every right to do so, but it does just leave a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth. Just something seems wrong. Just a bit. Don't you think? That is the two most recent updates. We had that 1-minute gameplay clip, and then we had what was supposed to be a behind-the-scenes development of the game turn out to just be an ad for a Teams equivalent software where you can chat with other people from across the world, whatever. Since the last time we covered the day before, which was back in July of 22, there's been a few additional things that we've noticed that I just want to mention here. So going back through all of the footage that was released so far, I started picking up on some similarities between the day before and other games. There's the obvious general comparisons to like The Division, Last of Us, or Days Gone in terms of the setting, in terms of the third-person perspective, in terms of the locations and kind of the graphical styling. Yeah, sure, there are similarities there. But more specifically, some of the areas that they've shown appear to be copied from other games. The first one is the Spider-Man Miles Morales Mall. I saw a few comments about this.
It looks pretty similar, huh, guys?
Said, hey, that looks really familiar to the Spider-Man Mall. And yes, looking at the Spider-Man Mall, I get the similarities that are drawn between the mall that's been shown for the day before. But at the same time, it's also just a big multi-layered mall with some glossy floors, escalators. It looks like a mall. So I wasn't so convinced on that one, but I saw what people were talking about. But then I saw the relation between the gas stations. In that one bit of gameplay footage, after riding through the mud with their Jeeps, they arrive and break down at this gas station. To me, it just looks like a gas station in the middle of the wilderness. But people said, that looks a lot like the gas station in Life is Strange. So I went through, I looked at it, and it looks a lot like the gas station in A Life is Strange. As I looked closer, there were so many similarities to the structure, the layout, and even some of the coloring choices that I started to feel like they might.
Did we see that side by side again? And I can get rid of my chat on screen and my webcam. Look at that side by side. Look at that side by side, baby. It's the same picture. Hey, can I borrow can I copy your homework? Yeah, just change it up a bit so they don't know. I really hope it's just supposed to be like a reference to a somewhat central location in a popular game. I really hope.
Some of the coloring choices that I started to feel like they might be copying it. So you've got the outside layout of the gas station, which is very similar, things like the location of the pumps, but then also where the gas station is in relation to the road, some of the trash bins, the fact that the gas station is wrapped in this fence in a near identical manner. Both the gas station itself has a fence around the perimeter, and then right across the street, there is also a fence on either side, thick wooded trees. I mean, it's like an identical layout. But then you take a look at the top of the buildings, and their logo for the gas station is also nearly identical from its colors to the font and the logo. It is a blue sign with white font that is arced over a hot dog. These look like practically the same thing. And then if you head inside of the gas station, there's also this wood-paneled fishing and hunting section in the corner of the shop. It looks very, very similar. It kind of seems as if they saw the gas station in A Life is Strange and decided to just rebuild it within their game. Is that a crime? No. Unless they stole source code or assets to make it, it's not a crime. It does feel a bit lame if they are actually just like taking the exact layout of this gas station in another game and then just replicating it in their own. I guess you could view it as an homage, but there's just so many things that keep layering on top of each other that give a real bad feeling around the day before. I'd also like to point out the fact that if you compare the most recent gameplay showcases to the very first reveal, visually, the game looks to be way worse, in my opinion. The lighting, the textures, the animations, everything looks to have been downgraded. I want to acknowledge that throughout the course of development, many games will often have to pull back on their visuals from their initial targets.
Yeah.
I also want to acknowledge that because there is a difference in time.
All right, so that's most of what's to worry about with this game, right? A lot of the criticisms are also around the idea like very little gameplay, very little basically no provably gameplay has been released, and the game is 3 months out from dropping. Then again, they've got the support of NVIDIA. They were shown at the NVIDIA CES showcase, and like a game like this isn't impossible. A studio that size, with the right mindset and the right knowledge and tools and the funding, like making a decent game that's like DayZ, for example, like that, it's possible. They've been making the game for 5 years apparently. So like that seems like a pretty reasonable amount of time to make this game. So we'll see. We'll see. However, there is one shining light in the darkness, okay? Apparently, there has been a exclusive media kit sent to a YouTuber named Blackwoods. This came out 6 hours ago. I haven't even had the chance to watch it, but this is pretty much like what I'm holding out on as being like the last thing that has a chance of exonerating this game from suspicion that it's not real, okay? This is apparently an exclusive media kit, is what I was told this is supposed to be. So I'm going to find out if this is
the day before is...
Whoa! We'll find out if this is clickbait or not. But yeah, all right. Let's see if this actually has new footage, and let's see if it's actually good. My knee is killing me. I'm so sorry, chat. I cannot find a comfortable way to sit with my knee hurting me this much. It's so bizarre.
The day before is an upcoming multiplayer open-world zombie survival game, which is set to be released on March 1st of 2023. We're only 2 months away from the official launch of this game, and there seems to be a lot of skeptical stuff that is going on with Fntastic, who are the developers of this game the day before, because apparently it seems like most of the people in the gaming community have been accusing the developers of pretty much just faking a game that does not exist. Now, obviously, if you do take a look at some of the point of views that these people have been stating, it does kind of make you feel very sus about the developers on whether or not if the day...
I fear so much that all of this has been wrong and that this game is actually real. Like, I really fear that this game's real and is really being worked on, and it's going to be great, and they're really working hard, and they're putting their hearts into it, and like the entire internet has been shitting on this game for like years now, saying it doesn't exist. Especially since like they've continued to release steady, you know, constant updates on like, yeah, we're still making the game. Yeah, it's still coming. Here's a trailer. Here's like a showcase at CES, is like the CES NVIDIA thing. Like, it seems like a long time to run a fake, like a grift for a fake game, right? Also, it would destroy their credibility, and they have a successful game in Prop Night right now.
Before is even a real game or not, which is why in today's video we're going to go through all the details so that you guys can basically know if this is a game that you should or maybe should not get excited about, or if at all is this game even real or not. Now, just a couple days ago, Fntastic released this 5 minutes of vlog where they basically stated that they were going to be showing off some of the behind the scenes of how they developed the day before game. And when they released the video, it kind of just seemed like they were trolling the gaming community here, because as far as what they've shown in this video right here, it seems like they're only
show us the exclusive footage
that they've even cared to show.
Why are you scared about this being good? I'm not scared about it being good. I'm scared about all of this negativity and skepticism being directed towards this studio unwarrantedly, right? It would be a real, like, it would be great. Like, I want this game to, I want to be wrong in this game to be great, but I'd also feel like such a fucking asshole for like joining in what would I guess be like a hate a hate brigade against a game that's, you know, they're doing their best, indie studio doing their best. It looks like The Division. Yeah, it does look like The Division.
Show about the day before's project of how they're developing the game. None of those things were ever really shown in the vlog video. The only thing that we got to see was pretty much them trying to advertise one of their brand new softwares that the developers of Fntastic have newly
Does this guy actually have access to new footage?
Of what it was supposed to be the day before's behind the scenes development process of the whole game.
Oh, wait. That's new footage. Isn't it?
Slack, TeamSpeak, and Discord. And all the entire video of what it was supposed to be the day before's behind the scenes development process of the whole game turned out to be pretty much a promotion for their upcoming software named Continent.
Okay, never mind. I thought that was a new piece of footage. I thought that was like a variant to something we'd already seen. Like they'd released some sort of behind the scenes clip of like, oh yeah, we tried to get that shot, but then it fucked up. So here's like a blooper of us trying to get that shot before, if you don't believe it. Hey Hash, we're going over, we're investigating the day before. I've already explained all this to Hash hosting before, chat. So Hash is already in the know on this. So Hash, this is apparently somebody who has access to an exclusive media kit on this game. And he's claiming that the game's real, so I'm watching this to find out what the deal is, okay? I haven't seen this yet. I've been looking forward to this, because I want this game to be real. So I'm going to see if this video makes a compelling case for that. If it's legit, will Hash be running a server? I'm pretty sure that these are servers hosted on, like, officially. It's like an MMO, so it depends. We'll see if the game's real or not.
App. Now, obviously, they have all the rights to go ahead and promote some of the softwares that they are making because it's their game, it's their platform, it's their YouTube channel. They, of course, can do whatever they want. But obviously, when you look at it from a viewer's point of view, it kind of does seem very sus. And some of the YouTubers have also mentioned that the muzzle is all fake. This, of course, could be something that they just don't want to test. The game have been doing so far, instead of giving us more gameplays, instead of giving us more behind the scenes of what is actually going on with the project, they're now only just promoting their other products using the fame of the day fake on how this
guy
eyes on. So what
did he lie?
He's saying is that 2023 it's only a fantastic film to a 100% guaranteed or surety that the absolute there are fantastic. So
bro, this guy lied. This guy fucking lied, didn't he?
So let me going to be launching on the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X or the PC version. I will be playing you guys need about all updates. You will not be getting notified when all. So make sure you guys to go ahead, drop a big in order to
Yep, this guy fucking lied. Yeah, I don't know. This game looks sus. This game looks sus that they had this guy, like they had this guy advocate for them and he can't even. Like, that's the best he can do. Oh, that's rough. Oh, I don't know, guys. I don't know if this game's going to be legit. What do you guys think? Do you guys believe the day before is going to be a real game? I think development hell and cancellation. Nah. They literally doubled down at, like, an event 2 days ago on a release date that's 3 months away from now. If they needed to push that release date back, if it's going to get delayed, if it was going to get delayed, I feel like they would have done it pre that event, or they just wouldn't have doubled down on the release date at that event, right? Like, why would they say, yep, 100% March 1st, 3 months out from release, or from that date, if things aren't looking sure? Or if they think they might have to delay. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah. Really? Yeah. Apparently March 1st. So we don't seem to have a long way to wait. It doesn't seem like we have a long way to wait on this game to find out whether or not it's going to be real. But in the meantime, we got Zomboid. Speaking of which, yeah, Hash, you're going to be able to put the server up tomorrow. It's going to be pretty pog.